Hello class 7 students, this is the continuation part of the chapter photosynthesis. In my previous video I explained the concept of photosynthesis, why photosynthesis is performed by the green plants and how it is performed. The equation is also already written here. So we have cleared the few basic concepts. Okay, now I'll talk about the structure of stomata. Now, stomata are the minute pores. Minute means very small pores which are present on the lower surface of the green leaves and sometimes also on green stems. Okay, young stems which are green in color, that means they contain chlorophyll. They also contain minute pores called stomata. Now, what is the main function of stomata? They perform gaseous exchange, that is they take in carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, which is very important raw material for the process of photosynthesis. And after the process of photosynthesis, when oxygen is produced, they help to give out the oxygen into the atmosphere, which other living organisms can breathe in. Okay, so this is the main idea about stomata. Now let's read from the book. Gases are exchanged through small openings on the leaves called stomata. Stomata are present mostly on the lower surface of the leaves and on green stems. Each stoma has two bean-shaped cells called gourd cells. The inner walls of the gourd cells are thicker than the outer cells. So the first paragraph says that these are minute openings or small openings which are present on the mostly on the lower surface of the leaves and some green stems. I have already said this. Okay, now each stoma, look at this picture. Look at this picture. Okay, I have already shown you during in online class also. This is a small opening which is the stoma, right? And these are the gourd cells. These two are the gourd cells. So bean shaped openings called gourd cells are found around the opening of the stoma. The inner walls of the gourd cells are thicker than the outer walls. The inner walls of the gourd cells are thicker than the outer walls. When the gourd cells are full of water, so this is the stomatal opening, right? And these are the gourd cells. So when the gourd cells are full of water, so think of a balloon which is full of water or even air. Okay, so we fill up a balloon with air and it swells up. What will happen to the balloon if we fill it up with air? It will swell up, it will bulge, right? So the same thing will happen with the gourd cells also. When the gourd cells are full of water, they swell and bulge outwards and the stomata open. So look at this picture in your book. So when water is going inside the gourd cells, obviously they will swell up, they will become bigger and then they will bulge outwards. You can see that they are bulging outwards, right? And what will happen? The stomatal opening will be exposed in this manner. Okay, again when the water goes out of the gourd cells, this will happen. As you can see, remember what happens with the balloon. If the air goes out of the balloon, the balloon comes back to its original shape. It like becomes smaller again, right? So look at this picture. When water is no more present inside the gourd cells, they come back to their normal shape and again close the opening of the stomata. As you can see here, the opening of the stomata is no more visible and it has been closed by the gourd cells. These two are the gourd cells. Okay, and here the opening of the stomata is visible because the gourd cells are full of water and they have swelled up, and now they have exposed the opening of the stomata. Okay, now let's read from the book. When the gourd cells are full of water, they swell and bulge outwards and the stomata open. When the guard cells lose water, they lose their turgidity and the stomata close. Clear? Normally, stomata remain open during the day and close at night. Okay, why is the stomata closed at night? Because photosynthesis is not taking place during the night, and there is no need for gaseous exchange. Okay, so this is a very important topic. The questions like how do guard cells regulate the opening and closing of stomata, it is very important. Okay, so I think this part is clear. I can move on to the raw materials required for the photosynthesis. Okay. Now, what are the raw materials that are required for photosynthesis? I have already discussed this previously. Here also in this equation also you can see the 4 raw materials that are required for the process of photosynthesis are carbon dioxide, the source is atmosphere, water, the source is soil, sunlight or solar energy, the source is obviously sun, and chlorophyll, green colored pigment, the source is obviously chloroplast within the green leaves. Okay, so these 4 are the raw materials of photosynthesis. Clear? Now I am going to explain each of the raw materials and how they help in the process of photosynthesis in the next video. Okay, thank you. Now let's start with what is photosynthesis. Green plants make their own food by the process of photosynthesis. We already know this. This mode of nutrition is known as autotrophic nutrition. So living organisms that can prepare their own food by themselves are known as those organisms are known as autotrophs, and that mode of nutrition is known as autotrophic nutrition. Okay, thus green plants are called producers or autotrophs. I have already said why they are known as autotrophs, and now why these green plants are known as producers, because they are the only living organisms that can trap solar energy and can convert it into chemical energy. Okay, the process by which green plants use energy from the sun to convert carbon dioxide and water into sugar, which is glucose, in the presence of green colored pigment known as chlorophyll, is known as photosynthesis. So the green plants require certain raw materials to perform this process of photosynthesis. What are the raw materials? They take in carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, which is given out by all the living organisms. When we breathe out, we give out carbon dioxide, right? And it takes in water from the soil, within which the plants are rooted, right? And they entrap the solar energy, and they already have the green colored pigment chlorophyll, which is very necessary for the process of photosynthesis, and this chlorophyll is present only within the green colored leaves. Okay, now let me go through the definition again. The process by which green plants use energy from the sun, that means the solar energy or the sunlight, to convert carbon dioxide and water into sugars. Now what is this sugar? The end product of the process of photosynthesis, the main end product for which the process of photosynthesis is being performed, is glucose, which is basically a sugar or a carbohydrate. Okay, and this takes place in the presence of green colored pigment known as chlorophyll. This is known as photosynthesis. They obtain carbon dioxide from the atmosphere through stomata, and water is absorbed by the roots from the soil. So this part I have already discussed. Now let's find out the word equation with which we can represent the process of photosynthesis. So we can write in this way: CO2 plus water in presence of sunlight and chlorophyll. I am writing in short. Okay, sunlight and chlorophyll, what happens? We get glucose and oxygen. Glucose and oxygen. Clear?